Hi everybody, I'm Kaylee. Welcome to my channel. If you've been here before, thanks for coming back. And you've probably seen my sweatshirt before. This thing is comfy and I shall wear it on my lazy days. So today has been a lazy day. So I know you've seen it in a few videos and yeah, I really don't care too much, but I thought I would address it before somebody says something about it. So there's that. So if you are new and you haven't been here before, I'm sorry that you had to listen to me ramble, and I'm sorry that there's a cat here, but I'm Kaylee and I do fashion, beauty videos, unboxings, really whatever makes me happy, things that I get new, I just decided to share with you all. So I'm here today to actually not share anything with you all today that's new per se, but I have seen this on many other channels, and it is the tag for your eyeshadow palettes. So I thought I would go ahead and do it, go through the questions that all the videos are like supposed to answer, and yeah. So I'm going to go ahead and get started. I have the questions over here. So actually the first one is my newest palette. So I'm going to assume they mean like new to me. So the palette that would be newest to me is actually from my last video, and it is the PUR Festival palette. I did an eye look with it in my last video. I'll link that video below, but it is a beautiful palette. If you have not watched that video, the two bright pops of color, and the glitters, there's shimmers, a few mattes. I honestly loved this palette. It was a win for me. The bright colors needed to be built a little bit up to get the color that you want, or that I wanted. I shouldn't say that because you might want a like a lighter, duller color, but I wanted it close to this, so I did have to dip in quite a few times to the pan to get that color on my eye, but it was it worked out. The glitters are beautiful, and I absolutely recommend and like this palette. So that is the PUR Festival palette, and that is my newest palette. My oldest palette is actually the next question, and that is my this is my Tarte palette. This is the first eyeshadow palette that like was not drugstore. So this is like my first like Tarte real palette. I don't know, I might have had some other nicer ones when I was younger, like from gifts. But currently this is the oldest one I have, and it's like the first one I remember like, ooh, this is nice. This is Tarte, you know? So this is the colors in here. This is actually called the Buried Treasure palette, and I use, as you can tell, I've used it quite a bit, especially that gold. I've used some of these for like highlights before, and then of course for eyeshadows. So I've actually used this for multiple things, and I really, ooh, look how filthy. Sorry guys. But I really like these shadows and they work very well. They're nice and smooth. But yes, my oldest palette, and I still use it. I think I used it last week. So there is that. Tarte is always like a good go-to. They've always been consistent with quality for me, at least the products I have gotten from them. So I'll continue, I will continue to support Tarte. I'm sorry, I keep looking over here. This is where I have like the questions. Like I have a little paper with the questions on it. And actually, the next question is the most expensive palette. And guys, I'm not 100% sure on this one, only because a lot of times I'll do like bundle deals. So individually, I'm not 100% sure, but I'm going to guess that it's one of these two palettes. So the Norvina Anastasia Blockbuster palette, which is a bright, beautiful palette, and I have used it on my channel before. I did a video about it. It is fabulous, and I love it. I do love that palette. Goes on fantastic. The colors are gorgeous and they blend fabulous. Very well. How many times can I say fabulous? I don't know. They blend well. So the next palette is the Cremated palette. And that's probably my next most expensive, I'd say. Yeah, probably. If not this one, I also have the Conspiracy palette, which I think cost me, oh my gosh, dusty. I had it up there for like 2 days and there's dust on it. What the heck? But this is my Conspiracy palette, and I think that is one of also one of the most expensive. I would just say in general, my Jeffree Star palettes are probably the most expensive, but the Anastasia one is up there, so it might be actually the most expensive, if maybe just by a few dollars. So the most affordable palette. I honestly, my most affordable palette would probably be my Harry Potter palette. If not one of my free ones I got from, like BoxyCharm, but this is the cheapest one I paid for. I think it was between $12 and $16. I have a video, I'll link it below too, of this one. The shadows were okay. They weren't terrible. They weren't. The color story it's okay. It's not the most amazing. If it wasn't Harry Potter, I would have looked past this color story. That is me personally. I'm not saying that if you love this, that there's something wrong with you or you're wrong with your taste. But probably my cheapest palette, and I've used it a couple times. But because it is Harry Potter and Slytherin, I will forever cherish that palette a little bit because of that. I'm a Harry Potter geek. If you've watched me before, you know that. And if you haven't watched me before, hi, I'm Kaylee and I'm a nerd. So just thought I would go ahead and throw that out there. But my everyday palette, I don't really know what that, I'm guessing like the palette that I can wear like anywhere, and that would probably be my Naked Honey Urban Decay palette, and it comes with its own brush. And look at all these mirrors are like terrible because I have a Reiki mirror and like a few Jeffree Star mirrors, so I don't usually use these unless I'm recording. But this is one of my most used and my everyday go-to palettes. It's not a nice, neutral, pretty golden palette, and I do really enjoy this. Again, great colors, great payoff, and great shadows in general. Sorry, everything's dusty. I should have dusted before this video, but I didn't. Regrets. But we're going to go on with the most colorful palette. And that, I'm pretty sure, is my Jawbreaker palette by Jeffree Star. This also might be one of the most expensive palettes too. But that is one of my most colorful palettes. Guys, this is one of my favorite palettes. It's beautiful, gorgeous. I know Jeffree Star is controversial right now and not a lot of people are like supporting him. But you cannot lie and say that his eyeshadows and his palettes are not fabulous and wonderful. Like, I have never bought one of his palettes and thought this is crap. The eyeshadows are crap. Like, this doesn't work well. The payoff sucks. I mean, every time I've bought one of his products, I'm like, wow, this is good. The only thing I have bought from Jeffree Star that I haven't really liked, like, a whole bunch, is a few of his liquid lips. Without a gloss, I hate them. With a gloss, I like them. So, I mean, honestly, and then his lip scrubs to me were, I mean, lip scrubs are lip scrubs. There's really nothing too exciting about them or special about any one of them. But I will say his lip scrubs smell fabulous. But, I mean, they're a lip scrub, so nothing like crazy exciting about them. But, so that's another Jeffree Star palette, and that's my most colorful. The smallest palette I own is this Steve Laurant, the Bright Light palette. And I've reviewed this on my channel before. These shimmers are, they're pretty. They're okay. But overall, the colors faded. I wasn't extremely excited or happy with this palette. It was okay. But yeah, I wasn't too excited about it after a day of wear. It did not last very long compared to some of my other palettes. And it was just okay. And again, the color story isn't terrible, but it wasn't anything like to write home about. The pans are a little small, but the shimmers, they were pretty. It's just they didn't seem to last very well, and I did use setting spray and primer. Okay, so the next palette I am supposed to show you is my biggest palette. So honestly, this is biggest by just a little. It's the Morphe Jeffree Star. I'm showing you a lot of Jeffree Star palettes, and I have other ones. So don't think like I only have Jeffree Star. It just happens that a lot of these questions go with the Jeffree Star palettes. So this is probably my biggest. It's the Morphe Jeffree Star. It's a very popular palette. I absolutely love this palette. It's a great everyday palette. The packaging is so cute, but there are neutrals, shimmers, glitters, and brights. So honestly, you can use it for any occasion almost. Oopsie, I almost dropped it. But that is my biggest palette. And then the next one is the palette with the most like memories. And guys, I guess I think I would go with this Naked Urban Decay Honey palette, because my husband actually got this palette for me, and he's not about makeup at all. He doesn't understand makeup. He's I mean, he doesn't mind that I wear it. I say that like if he said I couldn't wear it, that I wouldn't wear it, I would still wear it. But I mean, he's not like, he buys me makeup for like birthdays and stuff if I ask him to. So if like I tell him that's what I want. But anyways, he got this palette for me, and it was kind of expensive because he got it when it was newer. And when it arrived, he watched me open it straight from the box, and he goes open it. So I opened it and showed him the the eyeshadows, and he said that's all that it is. That's all that comes with it. I was like, yeah, it's just eyeshadow. And he goes, for that amount of money? I was like, yeah, I mean, makeup's expensive. He goes, I thought you were going to get a whole kit. I was like, oh, honey, no, makeup's expensive. But that's probably the one linked to the best memories because I have worn it so many times. So to feel, you know, it's with, memories are with like the times I've worn it, but also because my husband got it for me and it was a gift. And that was so funny that like he just expected so much more. And don't we all? So that is that's the one with the most memory. There's a few more left. So palette Worth the Hype, Conspiracy, 100%. This palette has some of the most beautiful shades I think I have ever seen. As a whole, it's beautiful as well, but like just some of the shades in it are so absolutely fantastic. Like especially, I'm a big fan of the Illuminati, and over here the Conspiracy and What's the Tea. Like these kind of greens he's got in here, or they've got in here, are beautiful. So it was definitely worth the hype everybody put it out to be. I love that palette, and regardless if you stand with Jeffree Star or not, if you watch him or not, it's definitely a good palette. Alrighty guys, so show your favorite palette from a favorite brand, and then the most used palette. Those are my last two. So they're actually both the same palette. The favorite palette from my favorite brand and my most used palette. So it's the Midnight Masquerade palette by the Disney Designer Collection of Colourpop. Colourpop is a fabulous brand. I love their shadows, and their products in general are really nice. I just really like them. Colourpop, I do really like the Jeffree Star products, like I said, but I do think this is my favorite palette, so I would say it's probably one of my favorite palettes from my favorite brand as well. So glitter, there's shimmer, and there are mattes. I will say the Frog and Wife is absolutely beautiful. It is one of my favorite all-time shades of like any. It's got like different colors depending on how you move it, but it's beautiful. I absolutely love it. It's just so pretty. All right, guys, but that is all my questions for the eyeshadow palette tag. I don't know why I couldn't think of that. But thank you all so much for watching. Please like, subscribe, and comment, and I will see you again next time.